Imagine having so much wealth that just spending it disrupts an entire economy for years. This isn't a fantasy, it actually happened in the 14th century. The man responsible? Mansa Musa, ruler of the Mali Empire and the richest person in recorded history. His fortune was so vast that during his legendary pilgrimage to Mecca, he gave away so much gold that he triggered a financial crisis in Egypt. But how did one man amass such an unfathomable fortune? And what happened to his empire after his reign? Mansa Musa ruled the Mali Empire from 1312 to 1337, a time when West Africa was one of the richest regions in the world. Mali controlled vast trade routes and nearly half of the world's gold supply, making Musa's wealth almost incomprehensible. Unlike modern billionaires, his riches weren't measured in stocks or bank accounts. His empire sat on an endless supply of gold, salt, and other valuable resources. Under his leadership, Mali became a center of trade, education, and culture. The empire stretched across modern-day Mali, Senegal, Guinea, and beyond. Musa's influence helped turn Timbuktu into a thriving hub of learning, attracting scholars, architects, and traders from across the Islamic world. In 1324, Mansa Musa embarked on a hajj, or pilgrimage, to Mecca, a journey required for devout Muslims. But this wasn't just any pilgrimage. It was an extravagant display of wealth that the world had never seen before. He travelled with a caravan of 60,000 people, including soldiers, merchants, and enslaved individuals, as well as hundreds of camels carrying thousands of pounds of pure gold. His journey took him through cities like Cairo and Medina, and wherever he stopped, he spent lavishly. Musa didn't just buy goods. He flooded the markets with gold, generously donating to the poor, constructing mosques, and paying for luxurious accommodations for his massive entourage. His spending spree had unintended consequences, particularly in Egypt. Gold was already valuable in the region, but Musa's generosity completely distorted the economy. He gave away so much gold in Cairo that the precious metal became too common, causing its value to plummet. Inflation skyrocketed, and the Egyptian economy struggled for over a decade to recover. Realizing the damage he had caused, Musa tried to reverse the economic chaos. On his way back to Mali, he borrowed as much gold as he could from Egyptian lenders at high interest rates, just to stabilize the market. This makes him one of the few people in history to accidentally destroy an economy and then attempt to fix it with his own wealth. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage didn't just leave behind economic turmoil, it put Mali on the map. News of his wealth spread across Europe and the Middle East, with Mali even appearing on 14th century world maps. Traders, scholars, and architects flocked to Timbuktu, which Musa transformed into a center of learning by funding universities, libraries, and mosques. One of his most famous contributions was the Jinguereba Mosque in Timbuktu, designed by an architect from Andalusia, whom Musa brought back from his travels. His investments in education helped establish Mali as one of the most advanced civilizations of its time. After Musa's death in 1337, Mali continued to thrive for a while, but without his strong leadership, the empire eventually weakened. Successive rulers mismanaged resources, and external threats led to Mali's decline. By the 17th century, the once great empire had fractured into smaller kingdoms, losing its grip on the lucrative trade routes. Mansa Musa remains a legendary figure, not just because of his immense wealth, but also because of how he used it to shape history. His pilgrimage to Mecca showcased the power of the Mali Empire to the world, even if it unintentionally crashed an economy in the process. His legacy lives on through the institutions he built and the influence he had on African history. So, what would you do if you had unlimited wealth? Would you change the world, or, like Mansa Musa, accidentally break an economy? Let me know in the comments.